What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm a Duck Quack here, and welcome to another potential investment video. So as you can see here, we're having a look at Irish players based on the upcoming St. Patrick's event. Now the reason that we're looking at these guys is just to speculate at what the event could be. Now I've got a couple of ideas. I'm not saying any of it's going to be fact, so take from it what you will. But it's just using a bit of guesswork and seeing what EA have done previously. Anyway, recently someone on Reddit posted thread about a leak, well, not a leak, sorry, an email that was received. Now, in this email, it mentioned that the event was coming up, the St. Patrick's Day event, and that the green players could be found in packs. So if we think back to a different event where these kind of players could be found in packs, we come back to Halloween with the Scream cards. Now, these players were released in packs. They all had a slight upgrade on their card, much like the Irish players do usually when the green cards are released. And then they had a weekend where their stats were boosted massively. Now, if they repeated this event, they'd also most likely, in my opinion anyway, repeat the squad builder challenges they released. Now, if you remember, you could pick up the likes of Costa or Payet, position changed SBC cards. Now, there's a good chance that they could use this format and repeat it once again, but with Irish players. So we could have the likes of Robbie Keane, which would be absolutely insane getting a special card of him. We could have Coleman. The rest of them aren't quite as impressive. We've got the likes of McGeady, and then we've got the likes of Long, but they're going to be the big two. Obviously, Delaney's not a bad player either, but it'd be the big two that would hold the most interest anyway, should I say. Now, if these kind of events were released, then again, I'd think back to what it required before. So these Scream cards, they required X amount of the Scream cards. So this, again, would require X amount of the special Green Island cards. And then it also required a team to be built around them. So there's two ways of looking at this. Say you're going for Coleman. He's going to require quite a few of the green Irish cards. Now, yes, you could build a full Irish team, but the rating requirement for him is going to be fairly high. So the best way to look at it is what potential green Irish cards could be released, and then what kind of players could we buy that are high rating that link to them. Let's say, for example, that you wanted to get Keane, and they released a requirement of 3 special green cards, X players from the MLS, or something stupid like that. We need MLS players. Or just say that we only needed the cheap Irish cards. Most of them are Premier League, as you can see here. We've got Premier League, Premier League, Premier League, Premier League, Premier League. Picking up higher rated Premier League players that could be built in with these teams if there was no requirements makes a lot of sense to me as well. And because they're not massively expensive at the moment, as long as you're picking up the right ones, of course, if this isn't the case and they're not used, then you can just hold them to the potential Team of the Week SBC or something similar comes along, even the League SBC eventually, and you're not going to lose any money on them. They'll still gain their value. Now, this is just one thought of what could be happening with these cards. The other idea is they could just be released into packs, and we get a really cheap SBC for like an Irish kit or something. We could need Irish players. Now, this is something people have been speculating for a while. You need ex-Irish players for a squad builder challenge. But my concern is, what kind of reward could they do from just one SBC when I think about it? They could have 2, one for Northern Ireland, one for Republic of Ireland. But again, even if it's a full Irish team, the rating is going to be really low. The prices are going to get massively inflated on the market, which isn't what EA wants because people are going to be competing to do it. And people aren't going to spend about 80, 90k for a small reward. So the reward would have to be huge. If it's packs, even a 100k pack doesn't equal the worth of spending that much on the cards. Which makes me think that if they're putting this much focus on an event, they're building this much hype around it, we're going to see some kind of squad builder challenges for these Irish cards. Imagine like a right midfield position change Coleman. I mean, it wouldn't be insane. I'd rather him be right back, but it would be a pretty cool concept. Or just imagine an upgraded Robbie Keane. It's just so much potential of what they can do with this if they copy that format. And again, they can't have this event being really, really small because they're advertising it on a large scale. So I'm definitely expecting squad builder challenges of some kind. And this is my best guess personally. If we're on Xbox, we haven't seen a new Legend card released, SBC released, sorry. This gets me thinking that this could be Keane's time. So if they do release the Keane Legend SBC, we want to start thinking about what we can invest in, his previous clubs, where he's played, where he's managed. All these kind of things could come into effect here, and picking up these kind of investments, because it's something nobody else is going to be thinking of doing. So even if we're miles wrong and it's not released and we just get it completely wrong, then there's no problem, because we're not going to make a loss, because we can just sell them back for the price we buy them for. It's absolutely risk-free. Anyway, guys, that was just my thoughts on what could be happening in regards to an SBC or something like that. We've also got all the investments we've made previously on these Irish players. Now, I've been checking the price of some of them recently, and over the last day, since the announcement about it has been released, then we can see that the prices of these Irish players have risen massively. They're up to about 1,500, 2,000-ish coins for the gold Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. Nope, Republic of Ireland players. The Northern Ireland players haven't risen quite as much, and the silver cards really haven't risen nearly as much as I was hoping. This might be a bad example of one here. Yeah, this guy seems fairly expensive. But the majority of them haven't risen nearly as much as I'd have liked them to have risen. So I'd still probably advise selling them off hype. Maybe a little bit closer to the time when they've had the chance to rise a little bit more. But I just can't see the huge value of these cards. I can't see what they're all going to be used for. If they aren't needed specifically for the SBCs, they'll shoot back down to discard value, and then we won't make any money off it. You can gamble, and if they are needed, you could make a huge profit. But the safe thing to do is always to sell on hype. That way you're always guaranteeing with every investment you're not making a loss, opposed to taking that risk. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave the video there. And if you've got any thoughts on what could be coming up or the possibilities, drop it down in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys and have a discussion on why not it could happen, what possibilities there are, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you could drop a like, subscribe if you're new, the usual, that would be amazing. And I'll catch you next time.